Now let's take a look at the Railway Series pack. So first we'll start off with Victoria. So Victoria is a coach of the Furness Railway. She was originally owned by Albert, but then I think later down the line she was given to Toby and Henrietta. Yeah, I think that's what happened. I don't know. I think that's right. I don't really read a lot of the Railway series. I just love the characters that they introduced, like Wilbert, 16, Ginty, Pug, Big City Engine, you know. So, now Victoria is basically just a coach that I painted blue with the white lining on the sides and the windows. Now, I don't remember how many coats it took to get the white completely covered over the blue, but I gotta say, this is a cute face. I mean, I don't know what to talk about Victoria. She's just a basic piece of rolling stock. But still, she's pretty cute. Her face does remind me of Clarabelle a little bit. Excuse me. Anyways, yes, I know that Helena also exists, but I just made Victoria because she's probably my favorite of the two coaches. But if you want to have Victoria and Helena, you could possibly duplicate Victoria in Tiny Tank Engines, and then you'd have two coaches. Same thing with all the trucks and coaches. You can duplicate them and delete them when you're finished driving the trains. Yeah, for those of you who've never played any Roblox Thomas games, there's basically a regen button where you would click on it and a random train would spawn and a piece of rolling stock would also spawn as well, and then you can duplicate that said rolling stock so you can have a big freight train. But they also have like a delete button on the back so you can delete them when you're finished. Now, this can cause to a lot of interesting things on Roblox. Like, of course, you can have fun driving the trains, but it's more fun when you crash them and like make them go all over the place and stuff. That's the fun I love about Roblox. Or at least the Thomas games, that is. Where you can drive the trains and do remakes with them and just go on these crazy like type of adventures with them. Yeah, I just love Tiny Tank Engines because it continued the Bluebird line somewhat. Or it was inspired by the Bluebird Railways. Not that, like... Oh yeah, I know there's a magazine character named Bluebird, but Bluebird Toys was just named these little miniature trains here. But yeah. Anyways, that's Victoria. If you like her, please tell me in the comments below. Next, we'll take a look at... Okay, we're just going to go in order. So, here we have the Furness Railway Edward. Now, I don't really know if this ever did appear in the Railway series or if this was, like, fan-made or something, but we do know that Edward was originally an engine of the Furness Railway. And here he is next to the actual Edward here. Now, the face isn't really that, like, it's a little blurry compared to this face, but I still like the red paint I chose. So I basically painted him into a burgundy color and with the letters FR on the side. But still, I gotta say, this is probably one of my favorite variants I've ever made because it just looks so appealing. Now, I think what would have been cool is if Edward was actually painted furnace red before, like, and then when he came to the store, we could have seen him be painted blue. Same thing with all the other trains like Gordon and Henry and Thomas and James, because the first 5 engines had an original color to them. Like, Thomas was painted green, Gordon was also painted green, James was painted black, Henry was painted blue, and Edward was painted in furnace red. But then later down the line, Thomas, and Edward, and Gordon were all painted blue, Henry was painted green, and James was painted red. I think that would have been nice to, like, if we could have actually seen a Furnace Railway Edward in the model series as well as an LNER Gordon and a blue Henry. But still, I can't complain too much because I think that the model series is still great overall. Even with its certain contradictions, like Donald Douglas being painted blue and the narrow gauge engines being red, but I'm not going to waste my time talking about that because I'm pretty sure you already know my opinions on that. But still, Furnace Railway Edward, he looks pretty cool. Yeah. Definitely a nice one. Alright, now here's a character who I wish did appear in this series, because, like, I'll explain later. So, here we have Bear, the blue diesel engine, in his blue livery. Now, I do have, like, a green version of Bear, so I'll just show you for the sake of a comparison. But if you're wondering why he has Philip's face for some reason, I really couldn't think of any other, like, way I could, like... I couldn't really find, like, a promotional image of Bear that really well. I mean, I know that most Thomas fans did make their own versions of the 2D faces of the promo art from the Japanese encyclopedia. That's mostly where most of the faces came from. But anyways. Excuse me. Anyways, I do think Bear looks pretty good overall, but yeah, like I said, another reason why he has Philip's face is because I was just mostly inspired by Mr. Slow King 64 because he basically had a little bear with Philip's face on it. So I think that's where the idea came from. Anyways, now I haven't really okay, I have seen remakes of Super Rescue, but I don't really remember most of it. Like, I mean, I do know that it has Henry, like, as the main character, and we get introduced to two new diesels named D199 and Bear. And Henry ends up helping, I think, either Bear or D199, I don't remember. But he helped one of the diesels, and then I think Henry was sent off in the Railway series. Yeah, my memory's just a little faded. But if you would let me know about Super Rescue, tell me in the comments below. So why do I think Super Rescue should have been adapted into the TV show? Well, I think it would have been a better send-off for Henry in Big World Big Adventures. I think that actually would have made Henry's send-off better. Rather than just, like, having him shoehorned just because, with no explanation why. And I think this could have been, like, their opportunity to give Rebecca some character development, and not just make her one-dimensional. But yeah, I think if Super Rescue did end up being a Big World Big Adventures episode, it would have possibly, like, saved the show a little bit. They just need to do a little bit better. But anyways, aside from all of that, I still think Bear is a pretty nice model, and he looks pretty accurate to how he does look in the Railway series. Minus the fact that he has Philip's face. I do like silver buffers, though. Okay, I'm not even going to waste my time talking about the LBSC Thomas, because I've already done a review explaining him, and just to give you a quick summary, I think The Adventure Begins is pretty awesome. Alright, last but not least, this is probably my favorite of the Railway series pack. We have Albert the Furnace Railway Engine. Now, I've already done a review talking about most of the Railway series characters, and Albert being one of them. But if you want to know what my favorite custom is of the Bluebird Railway series engines, it's Alfred the B12, no questions asked. Anyways, so what's different about Albert over here? Well, I basically took Whiff and just gave him a firebox and changed his wheel arrangement and gave him a brighter shade of red with Arthur's face. Now, if you're wondering, like, what Albert looked like before, well, basically, I just repainted Whiff, and I thought I'd try to base Albert off of the Medieval Misadventures version of Albert. Since I really do like Medieval Misadventures, but then when I decided to update my other models like Boko and Ashima, I thought it would be nice to redo Albert as well. So I just decided to make him a little bit better than how he looked before, and a little more accurate to how he looked in the Railway series. I do like his wheel arrangement, since you have, like, the two big wheels in the middle and then two little wheels on the front and back. Just to make him a little different from Whiff. Yes, he does use... He's basically a retool of Whiff still, but I just added the firebox and the different wheel arrangement. Now, I think this red paint looks actually better than the burgundy I gave for, like, the Furnace Railway Edward and stuff. And I just decided to give him Arthur's face because I was inspired by Custom Trackmaster's version of Arthur. I gotta say, the line detail and everything on here, like even the Furnace Railway lettering. I gotta say, this is probably one of my favorite models of Albert I've ever made. Probably one of the only models of Albert I currently have as of now. But still, I gotta say, this is a major improvement than what I had before. Alright, now this video was a little bit short, but I hope you enjoyed this video nonetheless. So comment down below who your favorite was of the Railway Series models. Was it Victoria, Furnace Railway Edward, Bear, LBSC Thomas, or Albert? And stay tuned for the next video where I take a look at the Seaside pack. See you then.